Hello, hi, how are you? I hope you guys can hear me pretty good. I believe the sound is on, right? We're gonna turn the background sound up because we want to hear what's going on. So, hello, welcome. I hope everyone's having a good night. That's right, that's my attitude here. We are fucking it. Fuck it! We are streaming it. So you guys can hear me clearly, that's good. Awesome, Bruno, welcome aboard. This is definitely not a conventional stream. It's something that I don't... Hold on, you may hear me twice here. I want to get another screen up. Oh, okay. I tend to have a second screen up of it so I can see how it's live, how it's working. Things looking good. A1. No camera tonight because I am exhausted. Hello, Kelsiana. I am beat. I look beat. And no makeup, no nothing. So no, we ain't doing it. But we are here. We will be live streaming this big bad boy. So I hope everyone's comfortable. We did get to hear the sound check earlier. That was good. Amy sounds wonderful. The white-haired gentleman sounded great. All good things. So what you are seeing is my screen. Nothing fancy. No video games. No none of that. We are in nerd mode. We are here to see what happens next and in all of its excitement. I'm just gonna make sure this isn't just me. Oops. No. All the way to the end. Okay, so we're good. See, RPR's base class is BTN. Awesome. There's a lot of, the chat has been fun to watch. I've been watching it for about an hour, I know. And it's interesting because you can see the player base switch. You can see some trolley players. You can see some players that are genuinely excited. So it's interesting to see the dynamic, for sure. Alright, Final Fantasy's live. That's good to see. Their Twitter just said they're about to go live, so it's looking good. Well, thank you, Christian. I appreciate this. I appreciate that kindly. Welcome aboard. It's starting! We were told to watch for the beginning. Ooh, she's pretty. No, she looks good. So pretty. The art. Listen, who are we kidding? Final Fantasy is known for their art. Square Enix is art kings and queens.
皆さんおはようございます。
おはようございます。
Good morning, everyone. 第66回ファイナルファンタジー40プロデューサーレターライブのお時間です。Thank you very much for tuning in and welcome to the Final Fantasy 14 letter from the producer live number 66. 皆さんにご挨拶お願いします。
Thank you for watching. My name is Naoki Yoshida, producer and director of Final Fantasy 14. 皆さんおはようございます。Final Fantasy 14プロデューサー兼ディレクターの吉田です。よろしくお願いします。
はい、そして今日はゲストにあいみさんがいらっしゃいます。あいみさんお願いします。
Hi, hello, my name is Aimi. I'll be helping with translation support for today's broadcast. 今回の通訳サポートを務めさせていただきます。竹あいみです。よろしくお願いします。
よろしくお願いします。
よろしくお願いします。
Yeah, they didn't have
And
to do
lastly,
this.
my name is Toshio Murachi, also known as a Fox Clone. You are a global community producer here. 信号を務めますコミュニティチームモルボルことムルーツです。どうぞよろしくお願いいたします。
はい、
はい、
よろしくお願いします。
ということで、まず最初に
いやまあちょっと押したのはさ、
はい、
まあ僕がギリギリまでタバコ入れてたっていうのも悪いんだけど、オープニング画面をね、いかにうまく見せるかっていうのをギリギリまで測ったんですいませんでした。はい。
So we started just a little bit late to this time. Of course, Yoshida had to step out to smoke a cigarette, but that's beside the point. We were trying to show off that opening sequence there on that screen, and we wanted to time it just right, and we were struggling until the very last minute there, so apologies.
Yeah, there was a hot debate here. ケンケンガクガクやっておりました。無事出てきてよかった。Yeah, good to show. かっこよかったです。
ありがとうございます。
Very cool.
結構調整実は大変で、まあ巨大なものをこう動かすんだけど、14って可変フレームレートなので、やっぱちょっとやっぱり微妙にその描画精度でちょっと
Turned my AC off, sorry.
うまい速度に合わせるのが結構難航して、サウンドに渡すのもフィックス渡すのも結構遅くなったんで、ご迷惑をおかけしました。
Thank you so much. It was quite a struggle, a big undertaking to make the different adjustments. When we're trying to move large objects on screen, of course, with the fluctuating frame rate, it is a very challenging element to kind of render. And depending on the quality of the rendering, it's quite difficult to get the timing just right. So we did struggle on that. I'm afraid it did delay us in handing over the animation over to the sound.
はい。で、今日はなんですけど、今日の PLL はちょっと特殊な回なので、まず最初に今日がなんでどういう段取りなのかをちょっと説明させていただきます。
はい。
So this letter live is kind of special one. So let me explain what is the setup for today. まず、今日は通訳、あゆみさんに通訳に入っていただいて、日本語と英語のバイリンガル放送で、行います。So first and foremost, this letter live is the bilingual in both Japanese and English. So we have Ayumi-san here, and she can help translating your student's speech. And then during the letter live, how it works is Yoshida-san basically speaks in Japanese, and then Ayumi-san translates his comments into English. Soまず吉田さんが原則日本語で、もろもろ説明していきます。
I like that they do this for us. I really do.
くれるというスタイルで進みます。で、私ですけれども、毎回これも言うんですけど、私は自分は自分で訳していくんですが、
rapport between each other. They're laughing at each other's jokes or kind of nice.
最後のお知らせコーナーが来るまで、私からは大して重要なことは申しません。ので、あれ今モルボルなんか通訳し忘れてるじゃんとかあっても気にしないで特にあはって言ってるだけだなって思っておいていただければいいかなと思いますので、そういうご理解でよろしくお願いいたします。So and then I will translate myself by myself. But if you notice, if I miss translating something, but just leave it because
just
nothing
leave it.
Important information is coming from my mouth anyway. So until the end at the announcement section, I mean, I am just nodding and then saying, "Aha! Wow! Is all my job is so just leave it." And then today's Letter Lab has 3 major sections. The first part is all about the new jobs. I mean, job changes, adjustments, followed by the battle-related updates. And then we are going to have some other updates. So there are 3 major sections for today. 今日は大きく3部構成になっておりまして。
I like this. They understand enough to be able to make jokes. That's when you know you understand language very well.
続いてバトル関連、今日は主に PVE ですけれども、バトル関連の調整のお話、そしてさらにその他のいくつかお知らせがありますので、そういう話をやっていって、まあ賞味4時間ぐらいですかね。
わかんないな。まあ今日私こちらにニコニコとTwitch と YouTube とコメントが全部あるんで、大概こっちに行ってる場合コメント見てると思ってください。
So just to let you know, Yoshida-san has the monitors for Nico Nico, Twitch, and YouTube broadcasts, and he's following along with some of the comments. So don't mind him if he kind of drifts off to the side of the screen. He's just checking the comments.
That's cute. I like that he's doing that. This could have been a straightforward, this is what we're going to do. But no,
は
they're
い、皆さんのコ
physically
メント、私
watching.
の方は画面こっちにありますので、私がこっちを見てるときは、なるほど、なんかコメント読んでんだなと思っていただければと思いますので、よろしくお願いします。
結構ね、見てるか吉田とかね、寝てるかとかね、書かれてるんですよね。あと眠そうって結構ありますね。
We were seeing comments like, "Oh, Yoshida's actually looking at our comments. Oh, he looks kind of sleepy, and is he asleep?" etc. etc.
寝てたらね、発売できないんだよ。
They're not very nice, are they?
There's no time for sleep. We won't be able to release the game if we're taking time to sleep.
だって14のほら巨大さはさ、皆さんもよく知ってるじゃないですか。たくさん遊んでいただいてるんで、あれを全部見るんですよ。もう何から何まで。
What an expressive person. I love this.
ね、ありとあらゆるものを見てってるんで、寝てられないんですよ。
I mean, you understand how large FF14 is. You all play the game, and we have to check every single aspect of it, from not just the main quest,
Right?
but even the nooks and crannies of the subquests as well. So there's no time for sleep.
まあなので、
はい
今日は今モルゴルが言ってくれたように、
I don't even want to think about how hard his job is. I don't. I find telecom work
今日は
enough.
主に PVE、
はい
それからバトル関係のシステム周りだったりとか、アップデートの、詳細というより、ジョブに関してはコンセプトをお伝えしていく回になってます。で、例えば PVP の新しいコンテンツとか、ギャザクラとかっていうのは次回の PLL で特集するので、そこはぜひご承知おきください。
Of course, as Foxconn just mentioned, we will be covering the different elements with this PLL, and we will have another follow-up immediately before the release of Endwalker, but we will be covering the different elements of the new expansion. So for this PLL, it's going to be primarily about the PvE items, the battle system updates, and the job changes. We won't delve too far into detail for each individual jobs, but we would like to go over the different concept that went into the different updates that we'll be
That's
making.
good to hear.
Unfortunately, PvP and Disciples of the Land in Hand information will be next PLL, so I'm afraid we will not be covering it during today's broadcast, so apologies in advance.
で、あと
They're apologizing for not giving us too much information at once.
例えば 6.0 の、例えばナイトがもうここがこうなってここがこうなりこのアクションがこうでこれの強さはこうですみたいなのは、当然ちょっと言ってたら終わんないっていうのもあるし明日からいよいよメディアツアーがスタートします、でメディアの皆さんには一足早くですね、特定のエリアと、全部ジョブレベル90でプレイをしていただいてですね、メディアの皆さんとかインフルエンサーの皆さんが、全世界一斉に情報解禁して、インプレッション上がると思うので、ぜひそちらをですね、詳細はね見ていただければなと思っております。はい。はい。
And of course, we also wanted to make note that with the different job updates, I'm afraid we won't go into detail, so we won't be like, oh, Paladin's going to do this, and the action's going to be like that, and potencies is this and this and that. Well, one thing, if we said everything, you would take forever for the broadcast, but we will be doing a media tour where we invite members of the media as well as influencers to get a glimpse of the new content, some of the new areas, and all of the jobs available at the upcoming level cap of level 90. So they will be creating information and content to share with you, and they will go live after an embargo lifts. So I hope that people will tune into that information.
Same thing, Bruno. PvP does need help. It's not for me. My husband would enjoy that more, not me. They do. And they interact like friends. It's really interesting.
その辺をね、気力にしながら頑張っていこうかなと思います。
Like they laugh at each other's jokes, they smile at each other. Even if it's fake, it's really good.
Influencers joining us this time for this media tour, and so I am so excited to talk MMO shop with them in my interviews. So that's going to be kind of like what I'm going to be looking forward to throughout this media event.
はい、でこのメディアツアーの、記事とかレビューとかはですね、全世界一斉に10月中旬頃に公開される予定になっておりますので、そちらをぜひお待ちいただければと思います。So the review and the articles from this media tours will be available globally at the timing of the middle of October. So please look forward to it.
じゃあ早速始めていこうとは思うんですけど、2点だけすいません。あと2つ確認させてください。
はい、
まず1つ目、今日お伝えしていく情報はやっぱりエンドウォーカー行月のフィナーレまだ開発中です。最後の最後、本当にギリギリまでバランス調整やってるので、
They're also very honest with their marketing and stuff like that.
Before
It's
we
kind of
jump
neat.
into the main part of the show, we would like to bring up 2 additional points. First of which is, of course, we'll be talking about Endwalker today, but we are still making final adjustments. It is still in development, and so please understand that some of these elements are subject to change.
Very
そし
fair.
てですね、もう一つ大事なことなんですけど、確かに私疲れております。疲れているのは事実なんですが、怒ってるのとか、そういうのはないです。顔がね、そういう顔なんです。怒ってるaesthetics 決してないので、真面目に話すと なぜかね怒ってるって言われるんでね、そこはご理解をいただきたいのと、まあちょっとやっぱ疲れは確かに疲れてるんで、言い間違いとか、ちょっとどもったりとかする可能性があるんですけど、今日はちょっとすいませんご容赦いただきたいと思います。
It really shows that he's into it.
And one important thing, I am tired. That is a fact. I'm sorry. And people have asked, Yoshida, are you angry? And I am not. I'm just, this is the way
I'm tired.
This is my pace. So whenever I'm talking about something serious, I apparently give
My
off
white
the
hair
impression
disappears
that I'm
tomorrow.
angry, but please understand, I am not. I am tired, so I might, my speech might not catch up with me quite. I might stutter at times, but please understand.
That's cute.
Yeah,
They're calling me tired, but I am tired. I relate.
Comment saying, but you're always
That's what adulthood
He
is.
must be always tired.
さあじゃあ始めていきましょうか。まあ一応後ろ制限はないんで、ね、
Look at the pages.
やるところはゆっくりやっていけたらなと思ってます。
Jesus.
Okay, I think we are ready to jump into the content here. I believe there isn't a strict sort of end time that we have to adhere to, so we're just gonna go into it, take our time, and explain as needed.
さて、
はい、
まずまあもちろん
Very, very pretty.
ジョブ関連調整だと思いますので、ここから行こうと思いますが、はい、まず各ジョブとかロールとか行く前に。
That red mage looks so
全ジョ
good.
ブに対する基本方針をざっと説明しちゃおうかなと思っております。
So general job adjustment
So of
guidelines.
course, we are going to be discussing about the different job updates and adjustments. But before we jump into talking about jobs or even roles, actually, I do want to cover something that encompasses all of the different jobs in general.
まず最初、ベースの方針なんですけど、こちらはシャドーブリンガーズ 5.0 の、方針をそのまま引き継いでおります。
So just as a baseline, we are sort of building upon what we have adjusted in Shadowbringers 5.0.
まあもちろんその新たなアクションとかはあるんですけど、まあその新システムとかをね、各ジョブにこうゴテゴテつけたりして、もうそのさらにシステムを各ジョブ複雑化させるようなことはしてません。
And of course, with the new level cap, we do add some more actions, but we haven't incorporated any sort of brand new system tacked on there or made anything too complicated.
That's what you look for when you start adding levels, is to make sure it doesn't get convoluted, doesn't get lost. Other games fell victim to that, and then they had to adjust it, this whole system. So it's something that they'll have to watch in the upcoming
and of course,
expansions.
With the basic thought being building upon Shadowbringers 5.0, of course there are new elements that are added leading up to Endwalker, and different elements that we have changed, may it be small or big. So we would like to go over some of the concepts or the directions that we've taken for these different updates.
でこう一部ねちょっと複雑にしてほしいなと、3.X シリーズみたいなのっておっしゃる方もね最近ちらほら見るんですけど、
I've never wanted to learn Japanese more than right now.
以前やって大変なことになったんでジョブの扱いは難しいわ、コンテンツは難しいわになってしまってやっぱりちょっとやりづらいと思うんで、今が一番安定してるかなと思うので。
はい
この方針を、継続していく予定です。
And of course, there are a small group of you that desire for that complexity of what we've done in the 3.x series. But I'm afraid we won't go in that direction. It's quite a struggle because not only does the job actions become complicated, the content themselves make it kind of compoundedly worse. So I think we are at a good sort of stable place post Shadowbringers. So I think we would like to continue in that direction.
まあもちろんね、個人個人ね、3-0時代が良かった、4-0時代が良かった、いやいや今がいいんだっていうご意見あると思うんですけど、まあ全体をずっと長くね、14見てきた自分に関して、やっぱ5-0の方針が一番多くの人にフィットするだろうというすいません判断をさせていただいております。
And of course, I'm sure different players have different tastes. Some people might say, oh, I love the 3.0 series, 4.0 series, or etc. But I think looking at it from a general sort of perspective and from Yoshida's point of view, looking at 14 throughout these years, we do feel that 5.0 seems to fit as many people as possible. So apologies, but this is kind of the direction we're taking.
So basically they're looking at their maintained Shadowbringers type builds and stuff, which is not a bad thing because it was extremely successful.
主要な攻撃に関わるような、シナジーとかも含めたアビリティのリキャストっていうのをおおむね60秒120秒の間隔に、各ジョブ寄せてます。
And another thing that encompasses all of the jobs is regarding their attacks and some of the like primary abilities and their recast timing. I think we've kind of equalized it to kind of lean towards that 60 second or 120 seconds.
まあ、この辺りはですね、高難易度コンテンツをやるときにこうバースト薬を飲み、こう各ジョブアビリティ全開放してこうバーストするぞみたいな時に、まあ、バーストがこう一定周期で合いやすいように合わせやすいようにもちろんそれだったりしてるんですけどまあ要はあと各ジョブこう別のジョブをやった時にも、サイクルってテンポ感は揃ってくるかなと思うので、まあ、その辺を踏まえてこうしてあります。
And this kind of takes into play when you go into the high difficulty dungeons and raids, where you have that first timing that you can match with taking your different medicines and then doing your different cooldown abilities, and you have that sort of relatively similar cycle depending regardless of what job you would do. So even if you kind of go into your alt job, you'd still have that kind of similar tempo or that cycle that you can keep.
So basically it's bringing a streamline to it in the sense that your timing is always going to be the same. It's not too bad.
Of course, there is a caveat to that.
当然ですね、全て寄せ切るわけにもいかないので、全部が全部60と120になってるわけではございません。
Summoner, interesting.
ここは忘れずにぜひご注意ください。
I'm definitely not shy to try stuff.
But that being said, of course, we were
That's
able
fair, Christian.
to align everything. That's exactly 60 seconds or 120 seconds. So please understand that not all of the abilities might match up perfectly or exactly.
おい、クロマモン60秒になってねえじゃねえかよっていうね、ことがあったりするわけですよ。クロマモンはね、残念ながら90秒リキャストままなんです。
Excuse me. Sorry.
It's like the ley lines. Oh no, it's not 60 seconds. No, that one still remains to be 90 seconds. Apologies.
悲しみですよ、私。
So it's a black mage.
捨て
It's
おかれ
really
た。
sad. They've neglected me. I'm not aligned to your timings.
プロデューサーのメインジョブの、
Well, shit.
主力アクションがそのなんか寄せていく対象に入ってなかったっていう。
Also get up
Kind
the
of
skull.
unfortunate. The main job of the producer of the game missed out on having his timings of his ability. One of the main abilities kind of aligned to that kind of cycle.
公平にね。
My feelings are hurt too, Yoshi P.
Yeah. The battle team treat every job fairly.
みんながパンボンやってる間にその30秒後に次の魔王を私開いたりして 本当にあいつ一人で何やってんだみたいな空気が
I
調
love
整中に
that.
も
He's
なるほど。
answering himself as a player. That's
So,
pretty
like,
cool.
Everybody else is doing their abilities and their nice cycled timing, and then 30 seconds later, I come in with my ley lines, and everybody's kind of looking at me weird, like, what is he doing? Off timing.
ではですねこの
That was cute.
全
That
部
was
に
cute.
共通
I like
する
that.
まあベースは 5.0 をそのまま準拠してますよ。でいろんな主力の攻撃に関わるような
Bring some personality to it. Like, these people are not robots. They're not just producers. They're
という
players.
ことによって結構変わるものってあるんですね。まあそれを頭の中にまず入れた状態で、見ていただきたいものがあるので皆さん頭の中に入ってます？大丈夫ですか？
So again, our base concept is kind of building upon that 5.0 Shadowbringers, and then a lot of the primary abilities have been aligned to kind of fall in place between 60 or 120 second cast timing. So with that in mind, there will be abilities that kind of change in accordance to those updates.
Gotcha,
So
Christian.
if you could keep that in mind, and there's something that I want to watch.
Yeah,
I
they were
want you to
pretty
watch
high
as
level.
you think about that.
So, are you ready? 皆さん大丈夫ですか？
では約20分ありますので、
はい
私もコメントはしません。ぜひですね、ゆっくりご覧いただければと思っております。あゆみさん、ここまでまず一回トランスレーションお願いします。
Right. So we
For
will
the
be
most
looking
part,
at
Bruno.
20-minute footage. None of us here will be making any comments. So if you could take a time to
20-minute
watch
footage.
the footage, and then he has more to say.
さあ、それでは、6.0 エンドウォーカーのジョブアクショントレーラーとなっております。
This
Not
is the
yet, Lorenzo.
6.0 job action trailer.
Oh,
どうぞ。
uh-oh. Oh. Oh, Chevalier Dragon. Oh, that's very interesting, the build of that dragon piece. Un chevalier dragon en français. In French. Oh, that is neat. So it's a build, it's a classic builder burn. Love it. Warrior guerrier en français. Hello down under. How are you? The pole dance. That's exciting. That's really exciting. Just saying. So is that like a rage bar? Or something like a rage bar? Like, think of classic Dungeons and Dragons. Or Warcraft. I'm sorry. That's all I know. Judge me. Xenos will not be happy. Ooh! Mage Rouge. Red Mage. Or Mage Rouge. Oh no, I did that a couple months ago. Take it easy down under. Especially if, I don't know where you got surgery, but hoping it's in good. Hoping you're okay. See, I'm tired. I'm sorry. I'm babbling. What a beautiful looking class. Oh, I get it, Lorenzo. Thank you. That's sad that I got that like that. Ah. Ooh. Érudit. Scholar. Oh my goodness, the little hat is so cute. Oh, that's so neat. I have no idea what's going on, but it's pretty. Same, Lorenzo, same. Chevalier Noir. Dark Knight. The Edgelord. I mean, to be fair, we're gonna get Reaper, so. So I assume that that's like a hatred meter or something of that sort. It feels that way. Ooh. Yeah, I'm not following the symbols on the side. Oh, you get like Link's Dark Shade. Love that. Dancer. Dancer. This has to be the prettiest looking class. Every attack they do is pretty. Insane. It's beautiful. A dancer? I don't know how different it is because I've never played one, but it's pretty to watch. Machinist or machinist? Okay, bio of sorts. Ooh. It's fun that I get to watch these play out too. Hey. You work with what you got. I can do French. I can do French all day. I do French for a living. Improve her feather producing abilities. Maybe. I assume so. Oh, he's got a friend. We like friends. What an interesting looking class. Gunbreaker. Pisto Sabra. Or Pisto Sabra. When they put the gunblade behind them, man, they look badass. Like, pretty cool. Okay. Best for last. I'm watching every one of them. I'm kind of picking up. I like that. I like how that plays. I'm enjoying it. Bard or Bald. Mini robot, yeah. Wanderer's Minuet. Oh, you're changing songs. That is such a great idea. Christian, this is not good. This is really not. I don't spend enough time in this game already. We are screwed. We're done. We're fucked. Uh-oh. That's it. Astromancien. Astromancien. That's easier to say than astrologian. Mini Remu peeps, not Rabon. Remu. Y'all tell me to calm down. I get it. Lady of Crowns. What an interesting class. The idea of the cards and stuff. That was pretty. That looked like shields, I don't know. Samurai or samurai? That's a real hard one in French, guys. Samurai. Sounds more Japanese than French, but it's French. Poor kitty getting his snoot beaten. Doesn't look like it, Bruno. It's subject to change because it's still not released yet, but I mean... Are those buffs? Oh! Poor kitty. Mage Blanc, White Mage. Oh, that's all new. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Okay, so it's a builder. Dude, this does not look any... This looks nothing like a white mage. Unless everything changes in Shadowbringers, this ain't it. Uh-oh. Ninja? Ninja. Again, it's so complicated in French, this one. No, I didn't. I did not. And I'm scared of them now. We're gonna have to watch some YouTube videos, I think. It's so fun to watch. It was really interesting. My girl, Mage Noir, Black Mage. Got our ley lines. Put the frost ouch down. And notion, switch to fire. Put on the boom boom, baby. Love that. What's that purple thing? Oh no. Plant. Okay, that's an AoE. Okay. Good to know. And we're regaining mana. I don't know what that clock thing's like, but it looks cool. Yeah, we're setting up for better thing. Switching to fire. Getting back for an ouch phase. Okay. I want to see what this last one does when it hits two of those little crystals at the bottom. Ooh! Oh, that's so pretty. That looks fun. Our Sage. There you guys go, some top end. Look at it. Oh, you got a little flower dude. And they chose to put it on a bunny boy. I don't know if you guys noticed that. Polyglot slacks, you can... Xenogloss. Gotcha. Monk? I missed the French translation for it, I'm sorry. Those must be key points. Oh, so something like key points. Typically, monks, even in D&D, are played as a builder-spender. Build your points, you spend them. Monk? And that's what it looks like. It looks like a builder-spender. Summoner. Invocateur. Is real pretty. One. Makes sense. One is a solid translation for it. Oh shit, you're summoning dragons. Okay. You know, summoning a carbuncle is cool and all, but that's a frickin' dragon. There's Garuda. Carbuncle. Yeah, I figured it out after Garuda came out, Bruno. I'm smart that way. Well, thank you very much, babe. I appreciate that. Okay. That was pretty cool, I admit that. It's fun to watch, to pick up the differences. Where are you at? If you're enjoying it. I like it. This is fun. I'm really having a blast. Ifrit, okay. As expected. A whole makeover, I love it. There's an Ifrit type spell. And a Phoenix. Which is your favorite web series? I don't watch a whole lot of web series, to be honest. I watch a lot of documentaries. I watch a lot of makeup videos. Although it doesn't seem that way right now. Ooh, Reaper. Full show. I'm streaming this. Okay. My husband came to me and sang my Chocobo song. How awesome is that? They gave him a scythe. How appropriate. I figured they were further down the road. But I mean, they're so telltale that you're like, yeah, no, that's a fucking Phoenix. Woo. Okay, listen. That aesthetic is so good. My inner edgelord is going crazy. This looks good. Oh man. Y'all can't tell me that don't look good. You're lying. Or paladin. Paladin. Only EJ, I mean, the same one as the Bahamut one. The hot Reaper is, yes, oh my goodness, yes. That Reaper is so good. Ma'am, you should put neon lights. Well, thank you very much. I appreciate it. Usually there's a green screen. Typically. I wasn't going to stream this event. I was just going to watch it on my lonesome. But I was convinced pretty quickly. Usually full face makeup. It's a thing. Actually, you should totally subscribe to my channel and go check out my other streams. They're awesome. with a green screen. But yeah, this is my office. My work computer's behind me. There's a Zelda poster back there. Pre-order next paycheck. Absolutely.
はい、ジョブアクション動画ご覧いただきました。So now we watch the job action video.
まあまずはちょっと20分ぐらいでしたけどいかがだったでしょうかね。
But first of all, yeah, it's
Right,
a
Lorenzo?
20-minute trial, so to speak. How did everyone do?
だんだん長くなっております。So job action video is getting
Now
longer
they're reading
and
the
longer.
comment. I mean, that is so refreshing. They physically want to know how we took that.
まあ 5.0 準拠、
はい、
で、まあ
That's so awesome.
生徒に全体そのまま進化していきつつ、まあ主要リキャストが60、120に寄ってたりするので、あれなんかローテーションずいぶん間隔短くなったなみたいなのあると思うんで、まあ
They
その
are.
あたり
I
を
caught that.
順次ジョブごとにこれからご説明していこうかなと思っております。
Well, thank you very much. I appreciate that kindly.
So of course, as mentioned earlier, our basis is 5.0 and building upon Shadowbringers, and so we've kind of evolved the different actions based on that, and with the primary abilities and the recast timing kind of being aligned towards either 60 seconds or 120, you might notice that the skill rotations and the intervals between them may feel a little shorter. So we'd like to go into the different jobs now to kind of explain some of the concepts and ideas.
Ooh.
まあコメントで多いのはあれですね。召喚師が召喚
I'm
師
still learning Summoner. Oh no. That's typical to a new expansion, though. To anything.
I feel like I see a lot of comments that are saying, "Oh, the summoner is now a summoner, and we're summoning," and that goes for both the Japanese and English comments that I see.
私が見た中ではアルティマウェポンかよって言ってたのがちょっと面白かったです。So are you now Ultima Weapon? That was a funny comment I found.
まあ召喚だけ尺投げずるいっていうコメントもあったんですけど、まあ
I love the fact that they're reading them live.
一応ね一通り全部載ってるはず召喚は。はい。
Of course, some of you may have noticed that the length that Summoner is being featured is a little longer than everybody else, and they were like, not fair. But I mean, it's quite a significant change, so we wanted to show off all that we can.
さあじゃあ皆さん頭の中にそれぞれご自身のメインジョブの映像ある程度頭に入ったと思うので、ここからロールのお話で、それぞれのジョブのお話っていうので、続けて全ジョブお話ししていこうかなと思います。はい。
Okay, so now upon looking at the job action trailer and having that sort of mental image of your primary job and what actions that you saw, we'd like to dive in. We'll start from the different roles and then go into the different jobs.
Oh, that's right. I forgot. It's green. Oops. I keep forgetting it's green. My bad.
The PowerPoint.
さあではタンク全体的なお話です。
Tank.
Okay, so tanks overall.
はい、まずいいですよ、出してもらって。はい、一部の防御バフに関してなんですけど、単にね、それを実行するだけじゃなくて、例えば
That's buff.
敵のダメージの直前に差し込むことによって、
Using defensive enhancement at optimal times will grant you better benefits.
うまく使うことで効果がね、さらに付与されるとかいうちょっとテクニカルな防御バフを入れたりしてます。
It really down under. That's the best part.
Certain certain defensive buffs, that you cast. We wanted to, of course, add some benefits to it. So not just simply like protecting yourself from, say, a tank buster or something like that, but we wanted to make it so that if you are using it in conjunction with different abilities and kind of using them in combination, it allows for greater benefits and sort of like a technical aspect to some of these defensive buffs.
So they made it a little more technical. Cool.
サーバークライアント型のゲームでね、さすがにそれは無謀なので、まあ
The anti-ouch
すごい効果の
buttons.
例えばですけど効果の短い追加効果があるんで、なんかこう、
うん
敵の栄翔の半分ぐらいでもうとりあえず打っときゃいいやだと
は
まあなんていうの一応軽減 10% とかは働くんですけど、その
So
後に
Reaper is gonna be
効果が
DPS,
無駄になる
right?
ねみたいな
あ、うん
感じなので、そこは効果を見てうまく使ってもらえるといいなって感じです。
なるほど
はい。
Maybe, Bruno. We might get it
We're
at the
not
end. I'm not
talking
sure.
about something very exact like a guard just at the right timing or like a parry. That's quite difficult for something that's a client-based MMORPG online. So it's more along the lines of some additional benefit for a short amount of time after utilizing certain abilities. So
Thank
before
you,
might be
Trial.
thinking, oh, okay, enemy is casting. I'll just go ahead and activate this ability at when it's casting, and of course you'll still reap the benefit of, say, it's like a 10% damage mitigation, but there is a bit of a waste, and so by combining it with optimal like ability use, optimal times, you can reap even further benefits.
であとですね、
Yeah, making it more
効果がね
technical.
それぞ
So
れ
adding
ちょっと異なる
some challenge, but also some
自身
reward to
もし
that
くはパーティー
challenge.
メンバー
That's not bad.
に付与できる防御バフを各タンク上部持っているようになっているので、MT、ST の場合どっちでも役に立つんじゃないかなと思います。
And of course, these different effects do allow for different sort of effects that are being added to you. Some of these are a defense buff where it applies to yourself and a party member. So I think it does come in handy regardless of you main tanking or off tanking.
では次の項目なんですけど、これはねちょっと近接物理 DPS も共通なんですけど、今までウェポンスキルコンボ中にですね、
Adjustments will ensure combos are not broken.
対角攻撃を途中に挟むと
That's important.
コンボが中断されてたんですけど、それをなくしました。
Range DPS, healer, melee.
Next item was, and this kind of applies to melee DPS as well, but whenever you are activating a weapon skill combo and you insert like a tomahawk for your warrior or something like that, like a ranged attack, that would kind of break your combo chain, but we've adjusted it so that that chain is not broken.
まあ各アクションのそのアビリティ
Which is not a bad thing, it just keeps- I'm gonna turn that thing off.
今までのローテーションのこう1サイクル
Keeps it streamlined.
ショートタイム
Nothing wrong with that.
にあると思うんですよ。
As a
まあ
DPS
全体
main,
が
please
の時間が
make
こう
tanking
なんか
mindless.
回転数が上がるっていうのがあるから
I feel that way about
こう
healing.
いうコンボが途切れなくなる
I'm
ので
such a bad healer.
結構なんていうの
In previous games, I
攻
could
撃してる感覚が
tank,
結構
so
強
at
く
least there
感
was
じるんじゃない
that.
かと
Healing? Listen, I know I'm bad. I'm aware I'm
So
bad.
with the different actions kind of being adjusted, so the recast timing leans closer to that 60-second
Okay.
intervals. Your rotations will start to feel a little bit shorter in their terms. So I think it's best to explain it as the number of times that you are attacking and the different skills are being activated kind of goes up in your rotations, and plus without those interruptions, it does give you that feeling of you are making an attack.
まあ例えばボス中
It's very important to have that constant I'm pressing a button
あるの
feeling.
で
I know it sounds weird, but that's something that other games have had to adjust to in the past. Waiting, getting interrupted, that shit sucks. Takes you away from the fight.
使う局面というのもまあ出てくるだろうし、むしろねグローバルクールダウン中にあえて避けて即戻るみたいな方がいい時もあるし、まあそこら辺はタンクを使うプレイヤースキルが少しずつ差が出てくるんじゃないかなとは思います。はい。
And so, for example, say a boss kind of has this ranged, not ranged, I'm sorry, an AoE attack that starts from the boss and kind of goes outward, and everybody has to kind of disperse away from the boss. Some people don't want to break their weapon skill combo and include that sort of ranged attack. But with the sort of adjustment here,
I got a new one,
worry
Ravenin.
about like wasting our
It's not
cooldown
a
time,
lot better,
global
but it's a
cooldown
little
time,
better.
or in some strategies, you might have to kind of decide when you deliberately need to time your GCD so that you can avoid some of those attacks. So I think this will kind of give the tank
You
sort of
got it,
strategy
Lorenzo.
a
That's
little bit of
what I was
range.
referring to.
さあでは3つ目なんですけど、 これもですね、
There will
タンクのみ
be
という
parity
より
between
は
the physical and
物
magical
理攻
damage
撃をする
attributes of
上で
weapons
全
at the
般に
same
関わって
item
く
level
るんで
and
すけど、
accompanying
ちょっと
changes
ちゃ
to
んとお
action
伝えしますね。
potencies. Interesting
And
to
then
hear the
the third
explanation of this.
item, and this doesn't apply just to tanks, but anybody who is making some kind of physical attack.
ちょっと
カメラにします。
そうですね、生カメにしてもらっていいですか。ですね、今までファイナルファンタジー14のベースのバトル計算式っていうものの中に、まあ皆さんねレイドとかやっててもこの攻撃は物理か魔法かみたいなよくあると思うんですけど、まあ当然物理攻撃の計算式と魔法攻撃の計算式っていうのがそれぞれ一つずつね存在してます。
はい。
He goes off on a
Of course,
tangent. That
with,
poor girl's gonna
Final
translate
Fantasy
all that.
14, we have this sort of calculations of the damage that is being dealt, and there's like a base or like a fundamental formula that is applied. And I'm sure those of you raiders know to discern if an attack is a physical attack or a magical attack. And each of these have their own sort of formula to calculate the damage that is being dealt.
これは新生14レルムリボーンを開発した時に、作ったものなんですけど、当時ねどういうふうにさらにバトルをアップデートしていくかっていうのがいろんな可能性が取れるようにするためにこの物理攻撃っていうベース基礎計算数字と、魔法攻撃基礎計算値っていうのを、それぞれ設定してたんですよ。
She's a really good translator. He's going off. And she's remembering all of it, coming back with it, taking notes.
力だとするとこっちが物理攻撃力。魔法の方がより複雑な計算をするかもしれないっていうので、こいつの値はちょっと高かったんですね。物理計算式のベースになってる値より。
He's right. He's just nodding and smiling.
So with
英語はあなた。
Final Fantasy 14, Final Fantasy 14 being sorry.
どうぞお願いします。
When Final Fantasy 14 was being relaunched as A Realm Reborn, we tried to make sure that the programming is it allows for future updates in the battles, and we try to leave the different possibilities open. So the fundamental sort of physical damage calculations were set up so that we have two separate formulas going on. So we have the magic damage
There's the two
damage
fists.
attack calculation, and then we got the physical attacks. And when we were initially thinking about these two
He's
separate
not
ones so that we can
nice.
adjust them separately, the team did determine that with the magic attacks, it does tend to be a bit more complicated in the different calculations. So the base, like the fundamental value, is set just a little bit higher than the physical base fundamental numbers.
Awesome. Good to know, Lorenzo.
レベル
But
80 に
still,
なっ
like
ても
it's
この差っていうのは縮ま
I
らない
translate here and there for French,
で
and
もう今後バランス
I would give the person the look.
このベースに使ってた物理攻撃計算式の基礎値を魔法と同じ値まで引き上げました。完全に同じ数字になるようにしました。はい。
And so with the characters now leveling up to level 80, this fundamental number did not change as we raised the
He's
the
so
values.
mean.
And so with this update, in order for us to make sure these are balanced, sorry, left, right, we kind of pulled up the physical base numbers so that it matches the magical damage attack.
で、じゃあそれをやるとどうなるかっていうと、物理攻撃が全体的に強くなるんですね。その計算の元に使ってる数字が上がるので、掛け算すると当然その数字でかくなると思うので、今まで使ってたそのベースが高くなった分、各アクションの威力ってところに書かれてる数字が総じて下がってます。
あ、なるほどね。
うん。バランスをちょうど揃えるために威力の数字が落ちてます全部。はい。
So
I don't
what
know,
that
Bruno.
means is that with the base numbers being equalized, the physical attacks would naturally become stronger by default because, of course, the fundamental number has been raised to match so that both of these are balanced. But that being said, we needed to calculate down so that the potency that is listed out as a number goes down.
なぜこの説明をこんな丁寧にね、吉田猫可愛いなみたいな、そんなつもりでやってんじゃないんだよ。なんでこんな丁寧にやってるかというと、この後メディアツアーで各メディアの皆さんからスキルの多分スクリーンショットとか出ると思うんですよ。その時にあれも弱体化されてる、これも弱体化されてる、あの数字も下がった、この数字も下がった、吉田は何近接に何か恨みでもあんのかみたいになるのを避けたいんですよ。
なるほど。
なんで全体の基礎計算式が上がってるんで、その分掛け算したら高くなりすぎちゃうんで、数字は全部一律下げてるんで、そこはご了承くださいねっていうはい。
People are saying Yoshida looks like a cat, but that's beside the point. So with the adjustment of the fundamental numbers going up, of course, we have to adjust the potency numbers so that even if it's raised, it stays the same. So the numbers themselves look like they're low. So I wanted to bring this up because now that we're going into the media tour and we're going to have members of the media and influencers kind of play the game and see the potency, and they would take photos or screen captures of the game screen, and people might wonder, oh my gosh, have they nerfed some of these potencies? Oh no, this one has gone down too. What happened to all of these physical melee attacks? What the heck? But just please understand, the potency is noted as like a lower number, but that's only because
okay, I see what they're saying now.
Up and it's to
there wasn't a squish, there was some
even out.
balancing
So
done.
It's across the board. You might notice that difference.
はい。という説明でした。これはまあタンクだけではなく、物理攻撃を行う、例えば近接命令 DPS もそうだし、遠隔命令 DPS もそうです。同じことが起きるので、それはそれぞれの項目でもまた軽くは触れますけど、ご承知おきください。
But of course, again, this is not just for the tanks, but anybody who is dealing physical attacks. So that means melee, like close range DPS, as well as ranged physical DPS, will be affected by these numbers.
Okay.
俺をヨシニャンって呼ぶのはやめろ。
Stop calling me Yoshinyan.
48歳のおじさんにそれはないだろう。
Yoshinyan.
I'm 48 years old. Please don't call me a cat.
そう声だけだとね、機嫌悪いのってなるね、確かに。まあ大丈夫ですかね。ジョークなんで。
That's so cute.
And then people start to comment, oh, Yoshida sounds angry. No, don't worry, I'm not angry. I'm just joking.
はい。じゃあ続けて
Oh no,
1名
Lorenzo.
ナイト行きましょうか。はい。
Okay,
Paladin.
moving on to the Paladin.
はい、じゃあ1行目どうぞ。まあ、レクイエスカットの
Requiescat will now equally effective regardless of remaining MP.
さらに、さっきね、動画でも
3 attack combos starting with Confiteor will be added. Remember, this is not everything, this is just some things.
まあ、主になんで、まあ、これ以外にね、もちろん多数の変更点追加あるんですけど、まあ、代表的なところだけ。はい。
So of course, as you know, or I'm sorry, you see on the screen, Requiescat will now be equally effective regardless of remaining MP, and then a 3 attack combo starting with Confiteor will be added. You may have seen in the job action trailer earlier, but yeah, there's this really neat sort of combo that happens after you launch Confiteor. So yeah, those are some of the
Oh my goodness, what a combination, Japanese and Latin.
Multiple different adjustments that were made to the tank, but those are the main ones that we want to pick up here.
まあ、ナイトはいわゆる正当進化で、まあ、何かがめちゃくちゃ変わるっていう
Oh no, I would have never guessed. I never played Final
で
Fantasy.
このローテーションはただちょっとあまりにも脳死にならないように、少し工夫というか考える余地みたいなのを今回入れてあります。
So with Paladin, it's just a straight evolution, kind of keeping in the trend with Shadowbringers going into Endwalker. So it's not a drastic difference per se, but of course we don't want y'all to be brain dead as you're doing your rotation.
Well,
so
thank you,
there
Zach.
are some
I
aspects
appreciate
that
that.
will require some strategy, require some thinking.
I could get used to being called
イ
Queen.
ンタービーンの要は撃てる距離が5メートル伸びて20メートルになっているので、まあその辺の使い勝手の向上もさせてもらってます。
And the gap closer, intervene, has been adjusted as well. There's an additional 5 yawns you can move forward, so it's a total of 20 yawns you'll jump in.
さあでは続いて戦士いきましょう。
It's supposed to drop. I know that every
warrior
place
まず
has
一つ
one.
目
Damage up effects can now be triggered and extended by AoE combos.
一定間隔でブレハをやらなきゃいけなかったんですけど、今回範囲コンボだけでもそもそもバフが付与されるようになってます。付与の維持もできるの
Reign
で、
de pomme de terre.
単体から範囲から
Or, if you're from Eastern Canada, reine de patate. Thank you very much.
With this one, the first point, damage up effects can now be triggered and extended by AoE combos. So I'm sure as you're playing warrior, at one point you'd always have to insert Storm's Eye into it in order to kind of sustain. But we
Thank you, Zach.
Made it so that it can be triggered and extended even if you're doing your AoE combos. So I think it's it causes for smoother transitions if you want to do like a single target rotation into like an AoE rotation and back and forth.
先ほど動画でももうすでにお気づきの方がいると思うんですけど、2つ目
Onslaught and Upheaval will no longer drain the Beast gauge. So Beast, I assume, is the rage.
Point, and you may have noticed this from the job action trailer, but Onslaught and Upheaval will no longer drain the Beast gauge.
I think this raise overall the DPS of warriors. Because in theory, the DPS tank on Shadow Brave. Got it. A new action will be available upon execution of inner release.
Will be available upon execution of inner release.
あと大きいのはですね、原初の解放のリキャストが60秒になってます。その分だけ回転数が上がるので、効果回数は3回になってます。で、頻度は上がるんで、だるさは減るだろうなと思います。
And note with the inner release, the recast time for that will be adjusted to 60 seconds. So you will have the effects for 3 times.
Beast level.
And so I think that will kind of...
Well, the lore of a warrior is that they go into such a deep-seated rage that they just...
So it kind of reduces that sort of dragging or lagging
Valkyries again and again and again and again.
オンスロート、さっきね、ビーストゲージ消費なくなったって言いましたけど、さらにオンスロートのチャージがタンク唯一の3なので、かつ新アクションがあれ結構遠距離からも打てるんで、実は機動力かなり高いです。
And then we mentioned about how Onslaught will not drain the Beast gauge. We are also adjusting that to have a total charge of 3. And then with the new action that stems from it, it does allow for a lot of mobility.
あとは原初のタケリも今回パワーアップさせてあるので ST 性能も上がってます。
And then原初のタケリ was I want to say nascent chaos. No, that's not it. ごめんなさい。I'm sorry.
いいよ、チェックしてから。
はい、チェックしてください。大丈夫ですよ。アクションベア難しいんですよ。
Well, I appreciate that. Don't worry about it, Bruno. We're all good. We're chilling. We'll be here for a while.
原初のタケリ。
Bloodthirst is the same mothers used to... Oh, jeez.
Oh,
jeez, oh, jeez.
Nascent flash. Sorry about that. Nascent flash will allow for it. So if you're off tanking, it will also help you there.
はい。という感じでございます。はい。あゆみさん大丈夫？
Sounds good. I don't know anything about a warrior.
はい、大丈夫です。
はい。では続いて暗黒騎士いきましょう。
Dark Knight.
On to the Dark Knight.
まず一つ目。Salted
Earth will now affect the area immediately around you and make a new action available. Okay.
So with Dark Knight, Salted Earth will now affect the area immediately around you and make a new action available. You may remember you had to place your Salted Earth, but now it's going to appear where you are standing, and from there stems a new action.
僕もそうだったんだけど、マクロ作ってやってたりするのが、もはや何なんだっていう感じ。
Are they salted because they salty?
So
That's
even
a bad
Yoshida
joke. I'm
had
sorry.
to like set up a macro so that we can place the salted earth, and so it seemed a
All well
little
and good for
pointless.
them.
So we
Talk
have made
about rewarding better
adjustment
time
there.
tank play, but it's important to
で
remember that
続
they
い
will
て
leave
まあ
all
プレイヤー
jobs
が新しいアクショ
approachable
ン
for
That's
what's important. There's a perfect job is one that everyone can play,
And
but to
so,
play at a
the
high
second
level,
point
there's
was
a
your
large
assignment
separation.
link will also gain a new action when you
So,
acquire one of the new job
Chevalier Noir.
abilities. So your living
Yep.
shadow is going to learn new actions as well.
Well, it's
まあ暗黒は今
Cavalier.
結構
It's a black
回して
cavalier.
るんで極端に
Because
なんか
Chevalier is a
変わるってことは
cavalier.
ないんで
It's
すけど
not
ただブラッド・デリリアムのリキャストが、こちらも60秒になって、3回までの効果になってます。なのでやっぱりこっちの回転数は上がります。
oops. Sorry, down under.
And so I think with the Dark Knight, the rotations are pretty clean and straightforward. But one of the other changes that are being applied is Delirium. Recast time will be adjusted to 60 seconds, and that would be also affected up to 3 times. So again, I think frequency will go up again.
あとはプランチカットの、射程
Love for
も
warriors. That's
20メートルに、拡大します。5メートル伸びる。で、あとは新技でブラックナイトとは別に単体ターゲットの防御バフも追加されてます。
And so with Plunge, again, that is also going to extend its range another 5 yalms, so a total of 20 yalms. And then
I love when they
there will
pronounce
be
things
a
in
new
yalms. I have no
action
idea what that
that's
is.
added separately from the Black Knight would be a single target defense buff.
はい、暗黒騎士はこんなところで、続いてガンブレイカー行きましょう。
Gunbreaker.
I think that's it for the Dark Knight. So moving on to Gunbreaker.
はい、まず一つ目。
Very fair. Savage Claw and Wicked Talon will now swap in for Gnashing Fang on the hotbar, reducing the number of inputs.
ですね。こちらがですね、ホットバー上でビートファングから順次置き換わるようになってるので、これ楽になるんじゃないかなと思います。
Once it gets convoluted, it's too much. Especially if
The
it's
first
3.
point says Savage Claw and Wicked Talon will now swap in for Gnashing Fang on the hotbar, reducing the number of inputs. But basically, your cartridge combo that starts off with Gnashing Fang will be like a one-button combo where it will kind of replace the Savage Claw and Wicked Talon will swap in its place to do the combo.
なのでまあよくわかんないっていう人に
Yeah, it makes sense.
ビートファングを使うと2段目の
Avoiding
サベチクローのアクショ
convolution,
ン
love
を
that.
自動的に置き換わるので、そのまま同じアクション実行すると、サベチクローで、3
This
段目の
makes me
ウィケッ
want
ト
to
太郎
get
が、
to
発
Shadowbringers
動できる
so
ようになる
bad.
と自動的にそれも置き換わるっていうことで
Scare out of the queue. I've
言葉
always
がかなり
game
節約できるん
the
ですね。
game to the pressure rolls. That's
So
very
just
fair.
to kind of
It is a
explain
pressure
further, basically, you like we mentioned, it's going to be a one-button sort of combo that's triggered when you start off with.
It is
Gnashing
intimidating,
Fang,
especially tank where you have
and
to
then
know
in
where
that
you're
same slot,
going
you'll
on
have
top
Savage Claw,
of what you're
and then
doing.
once you've triggered that, you move on to Wicked Talon. So
Tanks
I think,
and healers,
it'll definitely
your
save
job's to
space
keep
on
everybody
your
alive,
hotbar.
basically, and it's a lot for a new player.
と
Or if you're not
まあ
used to the
その
dungeon,
間に
that's another
挟む
big
追
one.
撃アクションがね
Like
これまで
my
通り
husband
コン
wanted
ビネー
to
ションからの
tank,
こう
but
自
chose
動機械なん
against
で
it
まあそこが
because
継続さ
I
れて
don't know what I'm doing. I don't know where I'm
And
going.
then for any sort of actions that are inserted in between, it will continue to be continue to be
Two
continued.
panic circles. Yes, Farah, I get that. I panic heal. Oh no, are you dying? No, 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 no.
さあ次
Continuation will be
ファースト
able
ストライクの後
to
に
be used
コンビネーショ
following
ンで
burst
追撃
strike.
可能になってます
And then the second point clearly states continuation
Oh,
will
excuse
be
me.
able to be used following burst strike.
そして、
So,
動画でも出てました
A
ね
trait will raise the
ソイルが
maximum number of
最大
cartridges
3ス
to
タック
3.
に、増加しており
I
ま
wouldn't
す
really call tanking a pressure roll.
And then, of course, you may have noticed this in the trailer as well.
Very,
A
very
trait
true, Tra.
will
I feel
raise
like it's
the
a pressure
maximum
roll,
number
but
of
that's me.
cartridges to 3.
ラフディワイドの選択範囲もこれ他のタンクに合わせて5メー
Always
トル延長
tanks
されて
fall
ます
down under. I'm kidding.
And then rough divide, of course, has been adjusted to match the
That's it,
other
Lorenzo, and
gap
that's
closers in the tanks
that's what's
as well.
difficult about MMOs. You got to do that with all the
アメリカは
classes.
ソイルの最大スタック数の追加点がかなり大きくて、より結構戦略的になってるかなと。
Again,
そのタイムラインに合
and
わせ
that's
てタイム
what-
から全部
If you can master being approachable, easy to learn, difficult to master, that's it. That's
And then with the
a game that'll keep you playing.
cartridges and the maximum stacks has been raised. I think that definitely adds an element of strategy. So you might want to decide if you want to go in full on and use up your different cartridges during the timeline, earlier in the timeline, or do you want to kind of save it for later, etc.
There you go.
さて、
Some see that brings in ability to the Gunbreaker.
Okay, so I think that
Your
covers all of the
decision on
tanks.
certain bosses,
さあ
on
では
certain
続い
stuff.
て、ロール、
Melee DPS
FFXIV DPS いきましょうか。
A Chevalier Dragon.
Is
I love
the
that one.
melee DPS?
お願いします。
じゃあまずメレー DPS 共通の変更点からです。一つ目、牽制
Feint's
効果内容が
effect will change to reduce physical damage dealt. Will also reduce magical damage
So
dealt.
first is something that applies to all melee DPS, but the effect for feint is going to change.
レイドでですね、
はい。
軽減の打ち合わせなどを盛んにヒーラーさん
Bring
と
on the
して
healers,
おりますですね。まあ私車だから。
Ichi. Grab a
建
pen.
設さんがですね。
I'm sorry, this is less than glamorous. There, much
アタッ
better.
クの痛いところに置いときますねみたいな
なるほど
感じにちょっとなっていたので。
I'll tell you one thing, what isn't a pressure roll, that's Black Mage. Just sit in the back.
So
Try
with
not to move.
This feint, and this is probably applicable to a lot of you who go into raids. And Yoshida, being a black mage, he would discuss beforehand with the DPS and tanks and healers to kind of
Move.
talk about. Okay, so
That's
when
right,
are
it's
we going to
offensive
place
down
this?
under.
And they're like,
I should be able to
feint,
stand here and not move.
Maybe we'll place it where auto attack hurts the most. So we are going to adjust that.
まあでも実際うまい本当メレーの人って実際には超大技の後に来るオートアタックが実はめちゃくちゃ痛くて、タンクも防御バフ張った後なんで実は AA で落ちるがあるんですよ。なんでそこにね牽制結構効くんですよ。効くんですけど、
Right?
今回まああまりにもなので
Healers
牽制
adjust.
の中に魔法ダメージ
Male
減
Vera
少
for the Sage's artwork and Male Vera for the
た
Reaper.
だ当然
Yeah, I caught that
魔
too.
法ダメージ軽減の効果量はアドル、キャスターが持ってる
I definitely caught that because the idea is they're showing the new race as well, right?
So I mean, to be fair, with some of these bosses,
Is it really? I don't find Rav.
you know, sometimes the attack, the auto
Very
attack that
fair, though,
follows
but, yeah.
after the sort of tank buster or the large damage.
I love the bunny boys.
Hurts a lot, and it's immediately after the tank has already used up
Gotcha.
their
That makes
defense
sense.
buff. So sometimes it does come in really handy to place feint right after one of those really large attacks. So we will there will be an additional effect of mitigating magic damage. Of course, that being said, the proper protection that you want to have against magic damage is addle that some of the casters would have, but
Addle?
just in case, I think it's
Sexy.
that's, a handy sort of benefit to it.
And recognition.
続いてですね、これさっきタンクでもお話しました
Adjustment will ensure combos are not broken by ranged attacks. There you go. That's a good change. The Dragoon will like that. L-type to Reapers. Oh no. Did you see the gameplay of the Reapers?
And then second point is similar to what we had discussed during the tank roles.
So good.
The
So sexy.
combos are not broken by ranged attacks that are inserted in between.
はいはい。そしてもう一個も
There'll be-
先ほどご説明
There will be
しました
parity between the physical and magical damage due to weapon and same item level, accompanying changes to action potencies. This is what they were explaining in the beginning.
威力という数字に関してはその上がった分だけ落としているのでナーフしてるわけではなくて計算式が変わったので 今までとは違いますよというのをご承知おきください。
And then third point is also, as we mentioned during the tank bull
I've never
section,
seen
but
Bleach, Alex.
again,
I
with
don't
the
watch a lot of
adjustment
anime.
the fundamental damage attack calculation for physical attacks, we did have to adjust the potency so that it appears that the potency number might seem smaller, but it is still the same strength. We have not nerfed it. We just wanted to match it with the sort of
Okay, same ouchie.
upward adjustment of
different.
the fundamental calculation value.
Deadass. They are a whole bankai. My weeb is showing.
ではジョブの
My daughter had to explain to me what a weeb was. That's my
お
age.
話はよろしいでしょうか。
Dragoon,
So we
Chevalier
moving
Dragon.
on to the different jobs within this role. I think we're good.
まずは、竜騎士からいきましょうか。
First is the Dragoon.
That's my
はい
husband's
竜騎士は
favorite.
ね、かなり
AoE rotation will be
綺麗に回んでる
expanded.
ので今回まず範囲攻撃のローテーションっていうのを拡張
I
して
find they
ます
have just a lot of fucking buttons.
So with the Dragoon, I think these also have a fairly clean and straightforward sort of rotation that
Like
you
it's
can
straightforward,
utilize,
it's not
but we've kind of
difficult,
expanded
but
on the
lot of
AoE
buttons.
rotation.
であとはウェポンスキルのコンボローテーションをきれいに
A new action will be available upon successful execution of weapon skill combo
出てたと思いますけど、
はいはいはい。
Ooh,
はい、
remember in
And then
which one?
for
I don't remember, no.
the second point, a new action will be available upon successful execution of weapon skill combo rotation. It is quite flashy. You may have noticed something really cool going on in the video, but
It was pretty cool.
でですね、まあ新技追加されたり、まあ随分時間が経って古くなった
It was
技
pretty
の
cool.
アクションの上位
I
版が
confirm.
登場して置き換えになったりしてます。なのでボタンがねめっちゃまた増えるわみたいなのはないです。はい。
so with this one, of course, there are just new actions that are being added with the new level cap. And then with some of the existing actions, and of course, throughout the years, we've kind of upgraded some of these existing actions to become like a higher version of certain actions. And we've just kind of swapped them in place of the
So I can
base,
remember Lorenzo 14 was the
skill.
first Final
So
Fantasy had
it's not like
Reapers.
we're going to be
I don't
adding,
remember
like,
Reaper, to be honest.
additional like button presses or like additional slots you'd have to fill.
で青の流血は
Oh, Dragoon is
今回
fun.
特性に
I like
移動
the
しましてですね
simplicity
アクション
of
と
it.
して実行したり、維持する必要はな
But
くな
again,
りま
it's
し
just
た
a lot of buttons. Like, do, do,
And
do,
then
do,
Blood
do,
of
do,
the
do.
Dragon will now become a trait, and so there will no longer be a need to execute it as an action or to maintain it.
で発動の条件下、
I'll make it
これが
easier.
発動条件だった技はすべて通常時に使用可能ということで調整されております。
So for any actions that required for the Blood of the Dragon to be activated, will be available at all times because Blood of the Dragon will be a trait.
であ
Dark
とはですね、
Dragoons.
スパインダイブが2チャージになっているので、
Child is still
ちょっとね
kinda
移動に
hard.
使いづらかったと思うんですけど、まあ移動用に1チャージ残しておけるように、あと溢れなければね、ロスすることはないので、1チャージ残しておけるようになってます。
Yeah, put it this way. It's the first one that my edgelord
Mind
husband was like,
Shatter Dive is going to be changed to 2 charges. And some of you might have experienced like, oh, I wish I could have used Spine Shatter to kind of move over. But now you'll have that 1 extra charge that you can probably save. So unless you kind of like waste it. But as long as you have
Guilty.
it, you'll be able to use it.
で、ランスチャージがリキャスト60秒。
all good
リ
changes.
タニーは120秒になっております
Jackson.
And then Lance Charge,
They are pretty
recast
fucking
will
cool.
be changed to 60 seconds, and Blood Litany recast will be 120 seconds.
Hunters. Are they really?
はい。
I understood
じゃあ
that
よろしい
reference.
でございます。
That should be it for Dragoon.
さて続いて文句なんですけ
文
ど、
はい
文句がすいませんまたでかく調整というかいろいろ入ってまして、
Punchy,
まず
punchy, hand, hand.
疾風陣雷っていうその遊びがなくなってしまったので、まず陶器
Alright,
という
let's
シス
see.
テムを、まあ、低レベルから使えるように
Chakras will now be unlocked at a lower level.
So next up is monk, and so
I know nothing of monk.
we wanted
Melee
to
is something that I'm
explain
not
this, a bit
good at.
First of all, the gameplay element of stacking greased lightning will be done away with. So we are going to allow for chakras to be unlocked at a lower level.
そしてですね、もう一個、新しいシステム
When conditions are fulfilled, perfect balance will allow the execution of masterful blitz.
And then
The
we are
available
implementing
blitz
a new
changes
system, that we
blitzes.
called masterful blitz.
ですね、
That
全体的に
feels like
拡張され
Final
てるんですけど
Fantasy
ま
VI.
ず新しく3つのチャクラっていうものが、出てきます。
So I mean, it's been adjusted fairly significantly overall, but so just going into a bit, we will have 3 chakras.
で、さらに陰と陽2つの陶器があって、
And then so there will be like a yin and a yang.
その組み合わせによって必殺技の中身が変わります。
And so getting like a balance of those chakras and the 2 different types of it will allow for the different skills to be activated.
It's pretty neat. Interesting. Thing about monks is they're cool to, but my experience way less damage. That's fair.
ちょっと分かりづらいよね。
Understandable.
で、まあ、チャクラを付与する仕組みって踏み台が起動条件になってるんですけど、
Omni tools. Love
踏み台が、2スタック、チャージのアクションになってます。
So with this chakra system, you will need to activate it using perfect balance, but perfect balance is going to be a charge action that can stack up to 2.
しかも、チャージタイム40秒なので回転が早いです。
And stack, each stack is charged up every 40 seconds, so it's quite fast.
Okay.
で、手数で押すっていうコンセプトは変わってないです。ただ必殺技が入って忙しさがめっちゃ上がるんで、
Gotcha. Okay. Makes sense.
聖剣武器と総称打の2つは方向指定が今回なくなりました。
And so, of course, the concept of trying to rush with the different skills that you activate and quickly going through these different skills has not changed. But with the implementation of Masterful Blitz, it does get a lot busier. So we have adjusted True Strike and Twin Snake to not have
most position
like a directional
okay. Gotcha.
Condition.
いいですよね。ここまでいいです。
大丈夫です。
で、長年気持ちは良かったんですけど、羅刹章がですね、今回なくなっております。
And I know a lot of you had enjoyed using this and it felt great, but we will be taking shoulder tackle away.
ただ純粋に新しい
shoulder tackle. I don't know what that is,
技が
but
追加されるんですけど、殴りません。
I need to see what they play at
but in its
Machinist.
place, we will be adding a gap closer or like a rush action per se. It will not be something that you
Oh,
use
excuse
with
me.
fist.
ただ味方ターゲットして移動もできるので、味
But it
方
is
にその味方が離れてくれたやつにまあ守るみたいな。
Okay, understood, Bruno.
なるほど。
ステップして即ボスへみたいな使い方ができる感じです。
But with this rush sort of movement, it is going to be simply for moving around, but you can also target your ally or your party member to rush over to them. So say you needed to kind of go towards somebody who had dispersed and went off into the distance. You can rush over to them. So kind of like there's an action that's similar in the Black Mage's kit, but you can go in there to kind of close your distance with your party member.
まあクローマーの場合だと魔物を置いておいて ボルボルにステップした後魔物に戻るできるんだけど、今回敵もターゲットできるので、敵から味方へ味方から敵へっていうのができるので、そんな感じでまあなので羅刹でこう味方殴ってしまうわけにいかんので
Like now, monks will spend most time damage running. Catching up with the
with the Black
mobs.
Mage, though, you would place the ley lines and then take a step and rush into your party member and then just go back to the ley lines. But with this new monk action, you can target where you're going to be moving to. So it's not just like a going back and forth. You can target your ally to rush over to them and then maybe run towards the enemy. So because of that, and you will be able to target your party members. You don't want to shoulder tag your allies, but
味方は殴っちゃいけませんよねっていう話。
That's fair.
さあちょっと文句の必殺技だけ実機で
おや
お
ったぜ
見せ。しましょうかという感じでございますが、よし、
so
もう説明じゃちょっとわかんないと思うんで。
we want to show off an example of Masterful Blitz on the gameplay screen, because I think just explaining it with words might not be optimal in terms of trying to get the message across.
That's alright. I didn't catch any if there was. I'm not very bright when it comes to spoilers.
Wow.
Of course, it's a little olive fell. Look at my little pupito.
なんだこれに見える。Everything looks new.
新エリアですからね。
ねえ、新しい
Because it's a new area.
New area, new BGM。
まあ当然ですけど、お伝えしてあるデノミネーションって入ってる状態なので。
He's doing bouncy bouncies.
全体ギューってね、数字が縮んだ状態です。
And just a word of note, downscaling has been already implemented in this build, so please don't be surprised if the
I've
numbers
seen the
feel a
Endwalker
lot more
trailer,
compact.
but don't understand it per se. Not Endwalker, sorry, of Shadowbringers. Never mind.
こんな感
Disregard.
じです今の3スタックだと。
So as you can see, that's the 3 stacks.
That was cool.
まあテクニカルではあるとは思いますけど、はい。
Peluche.
30秒でチャージされます、ね。で必殺技だけありますよ。
I love it, Lorenzo. I really do. It
Quite
like
technical, with a 30
in
second
the
charge.
Americas,
So
and I'm not
let
saying
me
that
show you
like this
the
everybody's
Master
like
Blitz.
this, but I find that
Right,
in
what
the
it is.
Americas
Yes, please.
we don't
ウニなり。
Balance.
we don't like that stuff, right? We tend to it tends to be related to children. We're
Can you
not
see the
allowed
3
to
kind of below the
enjoy
chakra gauge,
the cute
glowing
stuff.
there?
On the
こ
cutesy,
れが
peluche,
でここに
fluffy,
必殺技
adorable.
が出てるんで
It's like I said, it doesn't feel like we're allowed
チャクラ
to.
を
It's enfant. It's too young for us.
And so once you have those charged,
Where
up to 3 chakras that are opened up,
this-
you can
it-
unleash your
the-
Masterful
the-
Blitz.
They get to enjoy it. They get to
と
like things. They're the original
今
nerds.
一個
They get to
使った
enjoy it,
こと
and I
に
love
よって
it.
はい。
陽
よ
陽の
陽の陽ですね。
Yeah, I didn't see Endwalker. I saw
陶器がつい
Shadowbringers.
ておりますね。
Not by choice. It's because I'm the type of person that leaves,
So,
like,
of course,
walks away from
once
the screen.
we have
And
used that stack of 3, we now have an element that's associated with it. Between the yin and the yang, it's yang at this time.
で、例えばね、3つとも同じ。
あ、
早期砲がね、ここに来てます。
And so, we have something there right now. But another example is if we have 3 of the same.
90. Uh-huh.
今、イン。
インが
インがついた
インがついてますね。
はい
ここに
Yin.
インはいいんですよ。
インの陶器が
はい
Right.
インの
Tara,
インの
the
陶器がつい
difference
てます。
portrayed very differently.
The yin and yang.
Okay, that makes sense. But yeah, I don't know. Like I said, I really enjoy the being able to enjoy the cute stuff, if that makes any sense.
桜を
Find it very unfortunate that it's not something that's preferred or not something that's allowed. By
and
society,
then
yeah.
the other side, and then you stack your 3 chakras again, and then you unleash a pretty flashy move there in
Holy
your Masterful
man.
Blitz.
なるほど。
はい。というわけで忙しいので、まあこの、聖剣好きと、総称だだけ方向指定がなくなって、まあ他は残ってます。
なるほど。
はい。
But yes, so as you can see, it is quite busy with
Oh,
trying to maintain
oh, no,
that
never mind,
phase.
trial. No, that's not good.
So
Don't like that.
that's why we adjusted the two, true
It's-
strike and
It's
twin
to really
saves
separate
to,
the
not be
vial
restricted
with
to
the.
a
Ew,
particular
look at it, so
direction.
cute. I like that we get that.
では
That
これ以上はね、
はい
メディアの皆さん
when I fell in love with the Lalafell characters, I created one and I've been one since. Like I
So I
loved
think we
them.
will leave it at that, and we don't want to take away from the media and influencers content. So
はい以上となります。
But yeah, I'm a big fan. I love that allowance to joy. I love the fact that people can go out and buy like a kitty salt and pepper shaker and everything's fine. And it's great. Where if you went to your friend's house and saw it, you'd be like, really? There's a kitty.
next up is Samurai.
You know what I mean? That change and that difference? I'd love for that to come to the Western world. Samurai, effects granted by Jinpu and Shifu can now be applied by AoE combos. I'm sorry if I butcher those names. I am solid in French. I am terrible in Japanese.
So first one is effects granted by Jinpu and Shifu can now also be applied by AoE combos. This is kind of similar to the warrior, but when you're doing your AoEs, it won't be so like not boring, but like it's strenuous and time consuming because the effects are applied to AoE combos as well.
新たな居合術
A new action in the vein of Laijutsu and Tsubame Gaishi.
A new EI
In Italy,
and,
mainly the
an
previous
action
gen.
in the vein
Believe
of
that being a
Tsubame
gamer-
Gaishi
exactly,
will be
like-
available.
And it's little stuff like that. Or, for example, owning a plush of Pikachu. That's something we can all relate to. Something I'd love to have a fucking room filled. I love it. But it's like, my parents would come up and be like,
のコメントがね結構でもちろんリュキシもねちゃんと範囲
Your childhood was 20 years
範囲
ago.
のローテーションちゃんと拡張されて
25
る
years ago.
そうリュウさんも大丈夫ですよ
Like, it's.
はい
People seem
I
to be
like
concerned
that they're
about the
allowed
Dragoon,
to enjoy it.
But I did mention, right? I did write it down. We have expanded upon the AoEs.
パポに書いてあるんでご確認ください
It's on the PowerPoint. Don't worry. Please check.
で、
Fighting.
ですね
That's cute.
侍なんですけどやっぱピュアメレー DPS として思いっきり正当進化です
So with the samurai, of course, we wanted to kind of expand upon that pure melee DPS.
Oops, sorry. Didn't mean to hit the mic.
新技追加がまあ主なんですけど、
It's an
ツバ
interesting
メ返し
conversation, though.
それから
For
名
sure.
教水のが2チャージのアクションになってるので、コンテンツに合わせてのね開幕バーストとか調整の余地っていうのは結構増えたかなと思います。
And of course, with the samurai, because it's just a straightforward sort of evolution from the last expansion, we have just primarily added new actions. But the Tsubame Gaishi and Meikyo Shisui have become stackable to 2 charges. So whenever you go into a particular content and you want to go into a fight with that sort of burst of attack, there is a bit of wiggle room if you wanted to like make adjustments there.
We like wiggle room.
水
Big
状態で
fan.
はですね、コンボの3段目に該当するアクションを打つと、コンボ2段目のバフが得られる。名教室の状態の時だけですけどね。そんな風になってるんで、使い勝手自体も向上してると思います。
And then when you are under the effect of Meikyo Shisui, and then you go into that third phase of your combo rotation, you will be granted the effects of that second combo action. So we're hoping that that will allow for ease of use to be improved.
はい。
じゃあ侍は以上でございます。
はい。
Okay, so that covers the samurai.
では、続いて忍者です。
はい。
Next up
I
is
love how that's
ninja.
pronounced ninja.
こちらまず一つ
It's
目
real
です
pretty
け
for
ど
when he says it.
ドトン
Actions linked to Rayton, Doton, and Huton will be
それらを
added.
ベースとするアクションというのを追加しております。
So with this one,
Doton.
actions linked to Raiton, Doton, and Huton will be added.
Yeah, I butchered those. I'm sorry again.
アクションで、封筒を付与できるっていう。
An action making it easier to apply, Huton, will be added.
付与維持が楽になるんじゃないかなと思います。
Like English, Spanish, French.
And then an action making it easier to apply Huton would be added. So whenever you do want to sort of apply or keep Huton, and it should allow for you to
Oh,
do
goodness.
that.
まあ結構すでに忙しいジョブですし、
はい
まあそもそも忍術なんてミスしてられないし、これ以上忙しくならないようにしてあります。
And of course, with the ninja, it is quite busy. And of course, you can't miss any of those ninjutsus that you are doing. So we tried our best not to make it even busier than it is already.
Okay, that makes sense.
4因は勘弁してくれって書いてあるんですけど、
I don't know how it plays, but
残念、4因は
I
ご
believe
ざいません。
なるほど。
はい。
People are saying, "Oh, we don't want the fourth sigil," but don't worry, we do not have that.
かつですね、今回映画が
I
な
love
くなっ
that
てお
they're
ります。
interacting with the chat, even if it's like a question here and there. Like that's awesome.
And of course, we have done away with Shadow Fanged, so the dot will be gone.
So something easier to manage. Good.
追加で、まあさっきね、新たな攻撃、まあこれ動画にもありましたね。で、分身の術の効果時間中に使える専用アクションなんかも、追加されたりしております。
And then, of course, as mentioned, there are some new actions that are linked to Doton and Raijin, as you may have seen in the video. And then when you are using the machine, I'm sorry. Whenever you're using the Bunshin, there is going to be a specific action that will be added to that as well.
はい。大体忍者以上で、
はい、ありがとうございます。
That should cover ninja.
はい。
Okay.
そして、
Not a whole lot.
近接メロディケース
Reaper.
最後は
Imagine if they stare and say nothing to add.
出ました。
シングルリーパーでございます。
はい。
Last but not least, this is our new melee DPS job, Reaper.
まずですね、お伝えしていきましょう。
Use the scythe to attack in tandem with their avatar. You can serve as the avatar's vessel and unleash more power.
自分にくっついてきてるアバターという、キャラクターとの連携で攻撃をして、
Development screenshots are subject to change, so remember that.
融合するみたいなことができます。
Although we
Of course,
are
with Reaper,
September
they use
and it
the
launches in
scythe,
6 weeks,
like a
like
double-handed
2 months.
scythe to attack. So you have your own attacks that you are unleashing, and then you have the avatar that will also attack at the same time. So you're attacking in tandem, and then plus
That's
you
cool.
will be able to service the avatar's vessel, and so you allow for it to kind of possess you to unleash even more powerful attacks.
That's so cool.
続いての項目どうぞ。
That's so
で、
cool.
1個だけ、まあシナジー
Mist
パーティ
and
ー強化する
Jutsu
シナ
would
ジー
be
パート
get out of the suit. Ew.
One job that does this
Oh.
there's it's able to grant enhancements to party. Sorry, this is the only like synergy related action that this job has.
まあそう動画でもね、なんかシンジさんからなんかね、まがまがしいものを見とか
I'm sure
なんかね
there will not be a problem in finding
You
one
may
to
have
put in your
noticed
raid.
in the video, Reaper was trying to take something out of the bard. It looked kind of ominous.
で、まあ移動結構特徴的だったりもするんですけど、どうぞ。
Unique specialized actions give them an edge in specific combat situations. Yeah, I like that.
ちょっとまたタイプが違いますね。やっぱ進捗だけあって。
Everybody should have something you're good at and
You
something
may
you're
have also
poop at.
noticed this in the video, but some of the movements that the Reaper does is quite unique as well. And
So sexy.
It says here, unique and specialized actions give them an edge in specific combat situations.
ざっくりですね。
So
流
sexy.
れのイメージをちょっと口頭でね、まずご説明しようと思います。
はい。
So just a very rough and sort of general explanation of the flow here.
まずこの画面にある2つのゲージなんですけど、1つがソウルゲージ。
はい。
So if you take a look at the job HUD there, you see two different sort of gauges, but one of them, the top one, is the soul gauge.
で、まあソウルゲージを貯めて、アバターと一緒に攻撃ウェポンスキルを使う。その、ソウルゲージを消費して。
And then, so you would charge up the soul gauge in order to unleash different attacks. And this also applies to some of the attacks that you unleash together with your avatar. And that would sort of deplete some of the charge that is built up in the soul gauge.
で、そのアバターと一緒に戦うとシュラウドゲージっていうのが今度はたまるので、それが一定以上たまるとアバターと融合できるようになるので、最終的に
I
アバターと融合して
understand Lorenzo. Hello,
み
Goo.
たいなのが基本になります。
Bom dia. I don't know what that
And
means,
then
but hi.
once you unleash the weapon skills using your own attacks plus the avatar, then a second gauge starts to fill up. That is the shroud gauge. And with this accumulating charge, then it
Edgelord
will
Supreme.
eventually
Love
allow
it.
for you to kind of let the avatar kind of merge with you. You would become the avatar's vessel, and then you are able to unleash even stronger special combos.
Well,
So
welcome.
that's kind of like the basic flow.
どちらかというと、
Okay, I mean, it's hard to understand without seeing it in front of you
結果。
or explanations on how to rotate, how the
Because
rotations
of
work.
that,
And
I think we lean towards that sort of pure melee.
is it? I have
Kind of
Portuguese.
resulted in that
See,
way.
some Spanish I can read because
侍の方が
it's
ピュアではあります
close to French, but
侍
I
の
can't
冒頭のピュア
read Portuguese at
とは
all.
言わないですけど
I'm sorry.
ピュアよりです。
なるほど。
はい
Of course, our samurai is definitely a pure melee DPS. So it's not quite as extreme as the samurai, but I think it does skew towards that sort of melee, pure melee.
じゃあ
We
こちら
love
も
pure
見ないと
melee.
わかんないよっていう YouTube でチラッチラッ
まあ、わからないですね。
吉田見ないとわかんないよチラッっていうコメントを見たので実機を見てみましょうか。
And I think I see a lot of comments in YouTube, I think, saying that, oh, but we won't understand unless you show it to us, please. Peek. Show us just a little bit. So allow us to show it on the gameplay screen.
さあどうぞ。
Oh, we're gonna see it!
こちらが
Oh my god, a little popo. Look how cute you
Yeah.
are.
She has size.
She's so little
これ
and so
どっかの
cute.
プロデューサー兼ディレクターがステージで来て社長と一緒に並んで写ってる写真でなんだこの会社って言われてた。
Oh, this reminds me of a certain outfit that a certain producer director of a game had worn at a certain event and stood next to our CEO and made people wonder, what kind of game is this?
ざっとゆっくりちょっと動かしますね。
ほい。
So just a rough overview and kind of take you step by step.
お願いします。Yes, please.
準備をします。
Sorry, one moment. We're gonna prep.
でこれ1個ね、アビリティ
They're gonna prep.
じゃね、
This is cute.
シナジーのやつにかけました。でなん
We
か
have applied the synergistic
レバーを
ability.
入れました。
And apply the debuff.
で、
Oh, so cool.
Back side.
よいしょ
I'm sorry, side attack and then
Yes.
back attack. Oops. I think we ran out of charge, sorry.
で、こう、殴って
There we go. Okay, he's got her.
さっきのソウルゲージが溜まりますね。
So as you can see, when you continue to hit the enemy, the soul gauge kind of fills up.
And so neat.
で、アバターを使って、
おう
で、こんな形で、こう、難しいな、通訳挟むタイミング。
Sorry, it's kind of hard to jump in with the translations, but
で、これでシュラウドゲージが50に、アバターを使えば使うほどシュラウドゲージが溜まると思ってくださいね。
What's
but
he
again,
up
just
to?
a reminder, once you attack using your avatar, the shroud gauge starts to fill up.
で、これですね。変身します。
And transform.
こんな感じ。
わあ
Oh, that is so cool.
これちゃんとね、皆さんのキャラがこの
That looks cool. I don't care what. That looks so
But
cool.
yeah, each of your characters will take on its own form, or not its own form, but I'm sorry. It's going to take form, and it'll still be your character.
完全にダークサイドになりました。
落ちてます。
Yeah, now
That's
yeah,
so
he
cool.
completely fall into the dark side.
Yes, totally.
So cool. That is so cool.
ちょっと嬉しいです。
英語にしづらい。
That was badass.
This
A
is
little
very,
evil Popo
very,
Joe.
Emo.
Edgelord, I said
移
it.
動アクションなんですけど、
はい
変わってまして、このポジションから向いている進行方向に対して前に移動するアクションと、
はい
後ろに移動するアクションが
Very, very
あります
So as for a gap closer, there's a move where it'll allow for you to move towards,
Well, thank you, Quentin. I appreciate
and then
that.
there's a way to move
Tashi mode
backwards.
on.
で、その位置にですね、
That is so
ゲート
awesome.
を開けておくことができる。
It's coming. It's coming. The sage looked so cool. But I don't know. Edgelord Phantom.
Basically, you'll be opening a
Transformation's
gate of
pretty
sorts, like a
freaking
rift that
cool.
You can go through, and it stays open for a certain amount of time.
で、ゲートが閉じる前であれば、
That's so neat.
戻ることができる。
なるほど。
Like death
So
gates
if
and
you are
stuff.
able to move before the gate closes up, you can go back to whatever position you started off from.
Badass.
まあ僕今調整メインで別にリーパー使ってるわけじゃないんですけど、調整でリーパー使ってる子はですね、アンチにあらか
I
じめ
get that, Quentin. I'm not very good at healing, but I enjoy it. I am leveling a white mage, and even though I'm bad at it, it's great
Of
fun.
course,
I'm
right
enjoying
now we're
it.
just making adjustments to it, so it's not like this is a main job or anything. But a way to go about using this gate is to kind of leave it where it's in front of like an enemy of sorts, and then you close the gap towards them, hit them, and then go back.
Fair.
じゃあどうしようかな。
It fits my warrior of light disillusion. It works.
フレックスだけ
Oh, nice! I'm only level 52, so some learning to do. If you're just tuning in, this is Reaper. And there's the transformation.
融合した後。
That's so
Really
fucking
quickly after
cool. I
letting the avatar take over.
すごい。Yeah, it's very fast.
so cool.
融合する
So
と
awesome.
ちょっとプレイ速度変 変わるので、
うん。
結構テク
Oh, good to know.
Technical
That's awesome. It's been great so far.
なんだろう、単体技でゲージを貯めてってよりは、このソウルスライスとか割とチャージアクション使って一気に50貯めて。
I'm sorry for the yawning. It's 1 a.m. here, and I'm the type of person who's in bed by 10.
貯めてようやく呼び出してみたいな感じじゃなくて。
But I was so excited. I want to watch this. It's the first one I get to watch. First producer letter.
But with
So
the tempo of these different actions that you have to do, it is quite fast. So it does require a lot of like technical aspect of it. And it's not necessarily like a single target all the time. Sometimes it's like a soul slice, and adding some different abilities in there. It's not like an endurance thing. You
Man.
don't, like build and build and build and build and unleash at one time, but it's quite fast. So I think the play style is quite different from what we had previous with it compared to any of the existing jobs.
Good, that's what you want though. You want the different play style.
全部触ってますけど、
This will make the button pressers super happy.
That being said, looking at the different jobs, this one included, the tempo does feel really good. So I think it is quite interesting.
It's okay, we like interesting though. Again, we want different tempos. We want different plan. If this is a button mashing like reality,
So I think,
there's
the
nothing
more
wrong with that.
you
There are
Get
classes
your
that
hands
require
on it
that.
and try it out. I think it's something that you can kind of master and try to make the most out of it, because it is quite fun.
That's the important part. It's fun. Yoshida gave up. He's just playing now.
ならないようにしていかなきゃいけないんで、だからまあもうまあ人気がきっと出るだろうなと思って、もうちょっと優しめにしたかったんですけど、意外となんだろう、いい感じの難しさになったかなとは思うんで、まあ練習したらしただけ面白いかなとは思うんで。
What's he saying?
Of
Oh, that
course, you have
transform
to
sexy.
Be mindful of like resource management and making sure that your gauges are up and you're going through this properly, managing it properly. And of course, with this being a new job, very flashy moves, we expect it to be very popular. And so
You made an
we're
edgelord
talking about making
DPS.
it, a little bit less challenging, so to speak. But I don't know. I think it's a good.
And will
kind
it
of
be popular? It'll be
difficult.
fucking
And
popular.
Again, it's something that would be fun to kind of master, and the more you delve deeper into it, the more you can.
Reapers and
feel like you can
sages
get out of it.
everywhere.
まあベースのコンボには方向指定がないんですけど、
はい。
あーman.
アバターとやる
That's so cool.
技みたいな時は方向指定が存在するものもあります。なんかそこはどっちかというと味付けです。はい。
Of course, the base combo doesn't require any sort of directionals, but once you start involving your avatar, there will be. So be careful of that. But I think it's just, it adds flavor to the different abilities that you're unleashing.
簡単じゃんって今度コメントがあるんだけど、さっき言ったように早く高速移動しながら、なんだろう、高速で回さなきゃいけない中で出てくるんで、しかもさっき使ったのどっちだっけとか
So
出
badass.
てくるんで、
Love it.
そんなに簡単ではなかったですよ。はい。
And then we also have those people saying, oh, but it's an easy job in the comments, which is not true. You are going to be moving around the battlefield pretty quickly, and you're also trying to get through your rotations very quickly. So, and you also have to remember, okay, so I've used this skill, so where does it connect to next? So it's not easy per se.
今ね、YouTube でね、LB3 を
You tell him. You try it.
そうですよ、Twitch もそうなんですけど、残念ながらですね、僕今日今使ってるこのメディアツアーのワールドはですね、デバッグコマンドの LB3 フリーが使えないんですよ、残念ながら。
What? When he starts laughing, I worry a
also
little
see
bit.
comments saying that, oh, we want to see Limit Break 3, but I'm afraid this is in this world that we created for the media tour, we don't have the debug command to unleash the LB3, or we don't have the debug command LB3 free. So sorry, I'm not able to show it to you.
Aw.
ただですね、もうすでに公開してい
So
る
remember, they've got chat from Facebook, from YouTube, Twitch, and the Japanese YouTube site.
LB3 です。
And they're reading those comments. And that's fun to
But
know
that
they're
being
doing
said,
that.
You may have seen the benchmark trailer, but when you see Xenos at the end, and he does this really flashy move, that is the Reaper's LB3.
なのであれをご覧いただくと LB3 リーパーの LB3 がこういうやつかっていうのが分かります。はい。
So
I
think that would
heard
be a good
nothing.
reference if you want to see what the Reaper's LB3 looks like.
はい。ではちょっとこれでまあリーパー終わりにしようと思うんですけど、
はい、
まあ2時間になるんで。
We'll have to wait. We'll have to check it out later.
はい、
Eventually when we get there.
ここらで一旦ちょっと手短に10分ぐらい、10分休憩ぐらいを一回挟みたいなと。
はい、
で休憩開けたら残りの遠隔、
はいはい、
シリーズの DPS とヒーラーに行こう。
全然4時間どころじゃねえな。
おかしいな。数字で言いますと、当初思ってたら今40分ぐらい押してます。はい、いやかかるもんですね。
So we have actually clocked in about 2 hours now, and we haven't gone through all the well, we've gotten through the melee DPS, but I think we would like to take a 10-minute break, and then we'll jump back into the remaining
Very fair.
DPS. Yeah, we're on about a 40-minute delay at this point, so I think we want to take a quick break.
ですので、ここから10分間休憩取りたいと思います。予定外のマジ休憩なので、お供は特にございません。本当の休憩でございます。So now we want to have a 10 minutes break. It's pure break, so we have no video to show during the break. This break, so 10分後にお会いしましょう。では let's see you again in 10 minutes.
All right. For myself, I have to admit, it is 1 a.m. I am beat. This has been great so far. I'm going to pause this here for me. But for you guys, I'm going to wish you a very good night. And we're going to pick this up in the morning. Well, I mean, we're not picking up. I'm going to finish watching it. But I appreciate you guys being here. Thank you so much for showing up. I thought this was a fun idea. I'm just going to change the title to first half only, so that way if people watch it later. I think I'm going to unlist this for later, but either way, thanks so much for being here. It's been great. Have a legendary night, good sleep, and I can't wait to see you guys again on Tuesday, where we will be discussing this stuff in video. So have a great night. Bye.